Opinions are like that. Well, poof, I almost said the other one. There's two sayings, and I'll say the clean one. It's the one Phil Robertson said. Opinions are like elbows. Everybody's got a couple. Welcome back to the channel. Didn't make a video last week. Just didn't have anything. Couldn't think of a thing. I was just tired, I guess. I don't know. But I was thinking on the way home today from work about something, and I thought of a story, and I've seen some people talk about Colorado on the, you know, I like to go to Colorado for driving Jeeps and stuff, but I've been hunting up there a lot, and my favorite thing to do is go bow hunting up there. And they're talking about making bow hunting where it's draw only, and that was the thing that was cool about bow hunting, was because you could get a tag and go, you know, when you wanted to in the rut. And but the thing that is weird to me is they're going to leave the second and third season, rifle seasons, open over the counter. Not the whole state, but in parts of the state, I would imagine. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me. Why would you take it where bow hunting is harder to get something? So all the people that go up there during bow season because they can get tags are going to go to start rifle hunting, and it's going to be easier for them to get an elk, or, you know. So I understand that the people up there that hunt up there probably don't like seeing all the out-of-state hunters, and makes it harder. But I hadn't heard anybody talk about, and I'm biased because I'm an out-of-state hunter, but I hadn't heard anybody talk about what's the success rate of out-of-state hunters archery. It's probably not that great, would be my guess. My luck, and I've been hunting up there, I don't even remember how many times, but I've never got an elk, and hunted with several other people. I've seen a bunch of elk, but I'm picky, so I'm a bad judge, I guess. Some people will just shoot whatever. But all the times we've been up there, out of my group, we've only shot two. We shot one bull and one cow. And you go up there during rifle season, you have a better chance, because instead of having to get 70 yards or closer, now I got to get 400 yards or closer. And some people can shoot further than that. So it doesn't make sense to me. If you're gonna make it draw only, make it draw only for everything. But they still won't get the money. So I don't see how they're gonna do it. I mean, they make a lot of money off of the out-of-state hunters spending $650, $750, whatever it is now, per tag. And the, you know, in-state hunters don't spend nearly that much. So I would expect if they do this, that the in-state people are going to end up having to pay more for their license. They might not right off the bat, but a couple years down the road, they're either going to have to open it back up, or they're going to have to pay more. It's just the way it's going to work, because they're going to be like, oh, we can't pay for this, we can't pay for that. But that's not what my story's about. But if you made it this far, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll be putting some videos out. Still got to set the tent up. Probably won't be this weekend, maybe Sunday. And our trip, it's just gonna be me, my dad, and my nephew, so, to Colorado this year. So should be fun either way. But this is about the last time I hunted in Colorado, and it could be the last time I will ever hunt in Colorado. No one in the group, when we went up there, let's see, it was me, my dad, my brother, and one of my brother's co-workers and our friend. We go hunting with him all the time. He's more like family than a friend at this point. But we went up there, and they didn't want to go bow hunting, and we saw that there was leftover tags at the late draw. So we put in for, I don't know, unit 18. There's 2 units right there outside of, on the other side of the mountains from Denver. And what was the name of that town? Yeah, it don't matter. But so we put in, and the way we did it is we went and looked to see how many. What this is how we picked where we were going hunting, because we usually hunt down in the southwest corner of the state. And we decided we were going to go. We went and looked to see, or I did a bunch of research to see how, which place unit had the most leftover tags. So we picked it, picked that one, and we got drawn for it. And it was Lake Muzzleloader, or not Lake Muzzleloader. Thinking about Iowa. It was muzzleloader season, and it was in the middle of September. And we went up there, and Kremlin. It was outside of Kremlin, Colorado. We had never been there before, and the one place we were thinking about hunting, well, there was a fire there, pretty good fire. It was outside of, on the other side of Granby there, and it burned the place we wanted to go. So we didn't go there. We went to a different place, and then that just ended up being crowded. I will say this, compared to where we usually hunted, we would see some people here and there, and there'd be people, you go about a mile, there'd be another camp, a mile, another camp, and you'd see people when you're out hunting. It did get crowded at one point. But drove up in this place. Well, Jerry, our friend, he got there early, and he went and found us a camping spot. And it was a weird camping spot, because we camp we put our tents up all close together and everything. But where he wanted to put up a tent, someone put up a tent, like he had his truck parked there to save a place for me and my dad to put up a tent. And someone just drove up there and started putting up a tent, almost touching his Jeep. And we're like, okay. So we get there, and we found a spot next to where my brother was around, down through a little patch of woods, set up camp there. And got it all set up, and then more people came in. There's some people across the road, and some people pulled, we had this nice view, some people pulled a camper up right there. And we're like, what the heck is going on? This has never happened. I mean, we got 10 people camped in this one little spot. And but it is what it is. And we went up the road, and there was people everywhere. And we were probably, out of all the license plates we saw, there wasn't many out-of-staters. These were all mostly people from in-state that were hunting there, and it's close to Denver, so it's easy. This good, easy place for people to go hunting, I'd guess. And we didn't take 4-wheelers or anything like that. We just took the truck, packed the truck up, and went. And the only thing we had was Jerry's Gladiator and my brother's Jeep that we could drive if we wanted to drive, up some roads, some difficult roads we could get up. Me and my dad were in the F-250. So we were just walking out of camp hunting. So we get up the next morning, and we take off walking. It's opening day. I'd walk off with my brother, Jerry and his wife walk off wherever they're off to a different place hunting, and we walk in, and I'll admit I'm out of shape, and I was out of shape then. This was 2021, I do believe. Yeah, and we took off walking, and I bet you we walked a mile out of camp, maybe 3/4 of a mile out of camp, up and over a hill and back down to the bottom, and found this little hole. And I'm like, oh man, this is an awesome little spot. I like this. So I sat down. My brother kept on walking, and it was before light, and there was rubs and everything on the trees. They were tore up and on the hillside that we walked down. I was like, man, this is pretty good little spot. Sit down, sitting there by the tree, and I was out. Like I said, I was out of shape, but that's the way I always am when I go to Colorado. I just walk myself into shape up there, which is dumb, but that's me. So go up there. I'm sitting there and I'm going along. I'm like, man, it was quiet, and all of a sudden, right as it got light, I start hearing a four-wheeler. Where's this four-wheeler coming from? I'm looking, trying to see on my map. I can't really see anything on my GPS, and all of a sudden I see them drive. I can see them. They're on the ridge driving along. There's a road right there. I didn't even realize it was a four-wheeler trail, I guess, that went around through there. And they're just talking up a storm and everything. And there's some cows out there, and this calf walks up. I wish I had video of all this, but I don't. I wasn't video back then. There's this calf walks up with, almost steps on me. And I'm like, okay. And then another four-wheeler drives by. I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. I'm not going to sit here, watch four-wheelers drive by all morning. And later in the hunt, we were hearing people shooting off four-wheelers. We were hearing people shooting after dark and everything. I was like, man, this is, I've been in a lot of places. Texas is, mostly private land, so people do it, probably, and they do it on deal, but you don't see that many road hunters in Texas. I've seen it a lot up in Colorado. Actually, at one point, I wanted to be a game warden because something like that happened. There was a mule deer coming to me when I was in high school, and my dad saw it coming up the road to me. He was hunting on the other side of the road. I was hunting about half a mile off the road up in this timber, and he saw it walking towards me, and he was like, oh yeah, he's gonna have a chance at that. And someone drove up in the truck and shot it. So that made me mad, and I was like, and we saw the game warden the day after, but I was like, I want to be a game warden because I want to stop that. I want to come to Colorado and stop that, but I chose not to go that direction. But anyway, I get up, and I've seen moose before up in Alaska when I was working up there. And it was in dark, so I really didn't see it. It was a cow and a calf, and they came out of the woods about 20 yards from the truck that I was messing around in. I remember the guy that was from Alaska was trying to climb over me to get in the truck, and I said, just be still, they won't mess with us. But I got up, and I was walking down this trail, and it's the same trail my brother took. And I was walking down it, and I was going along, and I was just gonna go make a big circle and walk my way back into camp. See what I could see if I could see more sign. First day, hadn't scouted or anything like that. So I'm walking up, and walking up out of this bottom of this ridge, and all of a sudden I hear something, and then all of a sudden I keep walking. I stop. Walking, and all of a sudden, boom, here comes a big bull moose up over the top on the same trail as me. And I stop, and I look at him, And for a Colorado moose, he was pretty good. And there were signs saying they were in the area, but what's the chances? If I'd have had a moose tag, I'd seen nothing but elk, but that's the way it goes. And my brother had seen him earlier down by a water hole. But he comes up over this hill, and I'm sitting there looking at him. He's sitting there looking at me, and I'm gonna throw pictures in here. That's how much time I had. I had time to get my cell phone out of my pocket and take pictures of this moose. And I'm sitting there, and I take pictures of him. I'm like, okay. I'm just standing there, not moving. And this sucker, as I've heard, moose don't care. He kind of looked at me, sized me up, and was like, okay, I'm bigger than him. And he starts coming down the trail, right at me. And I was like, okay. So I turned, and there's a hill right next to me. It was straight up. I ran up that hill. By the time I ran up that hill, I had enough time. I turned around and took pictures of him walking by me, right below me, about 20 yards. And he walked off. And that's the only animal I saw that whole trip. I saw bear tracks. I take it back. I did see a beaver making a beaver dam. But didn't see much. Like I said, there's people everywhere. And that's probably why the people are, upset about Allen State hunters being there. There's just a lot of them out there and a lot of people, and it's hard to get out by yourself. But it was a pretty cool little thing seeing that moose. I think there was, Jerry saw some elk, but when he finally got to where they were on private property. There's a fence, and he looked it up on Onyx, and it was private property on the other side of that fence. So he didn't get to go after them. I think my brother probably saw some mule deer or something like that. Just really didn't see anything. I think Jerry and his wife had they went in town, bought bear tags, but then they didn't see any bear. There was bear tracks everywhere, even around camp. There was enough that we were being extra careful with, which you should always be, with food and all that stuff, even our trash. We weren't, in the past when we camp up there, we put our trash in the trash sack in the back of the truck or something like that. But we were actually tying it up with a rope and hanging it in the tree about 20 feet up in the air, just to make sure it, keep them honest, I guess. They could smell it, but they wouldn't really come in and tear anything up or tear up the truck trying to get in it. But yeah, it was a fun trip. We saw a lot of cool things and saw the moose, but like I said, I don't know. I haven't been back since. I did put in for the draw last year. I think it was last year, but I picked like 61. You're not getting drawn for that. I just wanted preference points. So I have no preference points right now that I could get drawn anywhere I wanted to go, except for some of those 61 or 851 back there. But I don't know. I don't want to me, putting in for the draw for an archery hunt is wasting your money. That's just my thoughts on it. You put in for a draw on an archery hunt, your success rate's not going to be that great, and you're probably not going to get anything. So basically, you're taking your whatever $650, I think it is, or it was. You're taking it and you're throwing it in the trash. You're going to eat the tag more than likely. So to me, it doesn't make sense. And to go in the rifle seasons, unless you're going to be able to find a place and go with an outfitter or something and hunt private land, which I have the money to spend on that, it's going to be just the same. There's going to be just as many people up there. And the bad thing is a bunch of people with a rifle. So it's just going to be more dangerous to me, because I've been hunting up there with a rifle before and sat down next to a pond or something like that and seen a cow elk come in and everything, and the cow elk walks off, and then hear something coming, and there goes two dudes walking by the pond. Been walking through the woods and sat there and walked up on someone and had a conversation with them about how they're doing and everything. So I don't know. I thought about going to a different place. I'd like to get an elk someday. But I don't know if that's it. I don't know. Maybe look at a different state, Utah or Montana or somewhere like that. But I guess for now, I'm just gonna stay whitetail hunting, I guess. Maybe one day I'll go back and see if I can get an elk. Or, I was gonna say, or get a moose. But that moose tag's expensive, and I think it's really hard to draw for. But that's my little story for this week. And don't get down on things you hear that might be happening, I guess. If you wanted to go try it, and just because I say you're gonna eat a tag, that's just my opinion. There's two sayings, and I'll say the clean one. It's the one Phil Robertson said. Opinions are like elbows. Everybody's got a couple. Thanks for watching. Catch y'all next time.